Yeah, so this is the Uber's login page, and first of all, it has a bunch of an image, two image in text file, and a button. So you can just you can press F12 or go to DevTools and select this thing, and then if you click the image, you'll see how or how the image is made constructed. Right here you can see the styling elements, and you can see the where it's imported from. So this is the link. um, so first and foremost, I'm just gonna have to start with creating uh, the app. So just gonna write create react. I'm just gonna name it UberClone 6. So you're just gonna have to bear with me. I'm just gonna try to do this as live as possible. So yeah, you're not gonna you're, I'm just gonna try to do this live. I hope you can see my screen. So it's gonna install a bunch of things. I'm just gonna have to go into the folder, check out what's in it, and then say start. So right now we don't need this image, and so I'm just gonna walk you through the pages that we actually need. So this is one page, login page, and go to the dashboard. This is what I'm calling the main dashboard. And then this is the you have three options: ride, wheels, reserve, and there's a map component. And then you can just this is not a clickable div, but only these three should be clickable. So you can just click the ride, and then it will take you to the search page, and search page is also going to have a bunch of elements, so you can do a bunch of things. And if you select something and then you click confirm, and then it will take you to another page. So let's just start with login page. So as you can see, it literally has nothing, so I'm just going to create two folders. One's called pages, and another is called components. So pages are going to have login page. It's going to have um, sorry, it's going to, so yeah, components. So it's going to be okay, and then uh, landing page, and then there's going to be search page, and after that there's going to be confirm um, page. And so let's just create the skeletal structure of the landing page. I'm just going to put react from react, and then function in, create the functional component, Just another return if, and then what you have to do is just export default login, and you're good to go. And it's basically the same thing with all the rest. I'm just gonna copy paste this one and just say landing page. Same thing. Just gonna have to do the same thing. Same thing with search. Here, search function. Just confirm. That's it. So the next thing would be for the. So you have to like I said, we don't really need all these things. You can just remove all these things, and then not this one either. So we can just import all those pages. Let's start with login, and then so just make sure that you use pages before login because it's inside the pages folder. Import, and then you have landing page from okay, and then you have search, and then for confirm. So yeah, you have this confirm component, and one of the most important thing in React is what we call React router DOM. So it's gonna create all the links, like so that the software would know exactly which link to go to, and it has different versions. So uh, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna make sure that you know the specific version of React Router DOM because each version of React Router DOM has different way of coding. So this is I'm just gonna show you in a bit which which one I prefer. So in a second, the software would say that uh, that's not what it's supposed to say. Okay, so there's a spelling error. Because that's what I think. Okay. Okay. So right now it's saying that React Router DOM. You can't find it. So I'm just gonna make sure that um, I'm just gonna just be sure that React Router DOM. If you just Google React Router DOM, um, uh, then it's gonna take you to the main, like to this page. Like you can just Google React, and I'm just trying to be as beginner level as possible, so that everyone can understand what's going on. So you can just click this npm. So that's the easiest and fastest way to install. And like I said, there's just different versions of npm. So I prefer this version 5.2.0. You can just search for it 5.5.2.0. Yeah, so there you go, and just click it, and then you just have to install and copy this one. Now hopefully it's not going to show you that error. Yeah, so just gonna go into I'm just gonna go into login page, and it's not really showing me an error, but at the same time it's not showing me anything at all. So I'm just gonna have to like go back to the login page and see what I can add. Okay, let's just deal uh, with the router thing. Let's just make sure the software knows which route it has to go to. So first start with the router. The router is going to have to wrap everything inside. You can just remove the div because we don't need it. And then switch, and then use route. Set component, and then begin. So inside the router you're gonna have the switch, and the switch inside switch you're gonna have to use the route component. So it's gonna have the landing page, landing page. There you go. Log in, and it's gonna have the search. And then it's gonna have confirmation. Sorry, the confirm page. Okay. Some kind of error. Just gonna save everything. See. Okay, so I don't get an error, so I'm just gonna pause this video and see you in the next one. Like, I'm just gonna take a little break and come back. Okay, so so I'm just gonna make sure that it's formatted properly. It looks good. So I'm just gonna go to the login page. So like I said, login has some images, and it has 2 images, and it also has some text. So I'm just gonna start with the main div. So the main div, first of all, it's gonna have like the height. Let's mention the height first because that's the most obvious thing. Vertical height, and then there's going to be a small border. Let's keep it as 1 rem, and then you always have to, okay, and then mention the background color. The background color isn't going to be ash or anything like that. It's sort of like a special color, and I'm just going to show you how I picked it in a second. And then you have to use CSS Flexbox. And then use flex direction. Whenever you use CSS display flex, you also have to mention flex direction. And it's going to be a column, and I'm going to tell you why in a second, why it's going to be like that, why I have to mention column instead of instead of a row. So okay, saying there's an error. Okay, I didn't put another curly brace, so there you go. And there's gonna have like two images. It's gonna have a source. So like I said, you can just go into select this tool and see how the images, where the image is coming from. I'm just gonna copy paste this, put it inside my VS IDE. It should be good. And then there's this login to access your account. Okay, so I'm just gonna say login to access your account. Okay, so this is the image, sorry. You have to put it inside this div, and then there's another div. So this is actually a button, but I'm not gonna use button for this. I'm just gonna use another div. Let's see how it is. Okay, so it's taking a little bit of shape. So there's another image that I forgot. So it's right above sign in with Google. Okay, let's see the link. So this is the link. I'm just gonna copy this one. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so now it's taking a little bit of shape. So I'm just gonna have to style this these two images. Make sure it's small and this one's big. So for the whole app, I'm just gonna use inline styling because everybody appreciates like a smaller code base. You don't need another CSS file and a bunch of other things. You can do everything in your JavaScript only, so that makes everything more readable, in my opinion. So I'm just, first and foremost, I'm just gonna mention the height, and then we can say object fit. And I'm just going to show you in a second like what happens when I don't include object fit. And align self flex start. So let's see what happens. So you see what happens. So if I don't click object fit, so this is what happens. So it's just really flat, and then we have to mention like the width, maybe 10 pixel, and so I mean it's just really impossible. Like, so you can either do this, but the more elegant thing to do would be to have this, the align self flex start, and also object fit. So this is going to automatically do that and automatically reshape according to the viewport. So this one's a better solution. And then you have this line called login to access your account. So it's gonna look like this one. So it has its specific color, its font size different. So let's see what I can do about it. Start styling it. So first of all, you see like the every what do you call this word? Every word, the first letter is capital. So you're gonna have to do something about it. So text transform and increase the font size a little bit. 3 RAM, and then there's a little bit of spacing, padding top. There's a small spacing. um, so I'm just going to show you what padding top does in a second. And then the color isn't exactly color text. This is actually the text color. It isn't exactly black, so I'm just gonna 156, 163, 175. Let's see how it goes. Oh, sorry, not this one. Yeah. So the font size, I've changed the font size, and the line height is basically the spacing between the lines, and the padding top is just a small spacing between this one and this one, this one and this one. So this is a padding, and this is a specific color that I use. You can also look into a different color depending on what you want. Maybe you want red something, and you can just pick this RGB and paste it in your IDE. So that's how you do it. So I'm just going to click refresh, and then we style the image. So just to be sure, this image is already styled properly, but just to be sure, I also use the object fit so that it automatically figures out its dimension, and the width you can say is 100%, although it does in this case wouldn't make any difference. 100 vertical width and 100%, they're basically doing the same thing. And last, you have like another button that's actually a div. So I'm just gonna start styling it. So first of all, I'm just gonna do the background color. So background color is just black. Keep things super simple. I'm just gonna not use those RGB things. And then the text color is white. And then okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, so it's taking shape. So we need it in the center. It has to be in the center, and it has to have some kind of height. So in order to make it in the center, I'll just use text align center, and then so I'm just gonna give it a little height. So for that, I'm just gonna use like a padding top and padding bottom. And just to make sure that the div stretches from like the whole viewport, I'm just gonna say stretch 100%. Yeah. So now you have like so it's almost similar to what we have over here, but there's some spacing between the image and the div. So I'm just gonna add some margin top is 2. Yep, so it's all good now. Am I forgetting something? Nope. So it's all good. So yeah, I mean, so right now you have to it has to be clickable. You have to click here, and it's going to take you to the landing page. So let's see how I can do that. Now in order for me to do that, I'm just gonna have to use the same old React router DOM that I just showed you earlier. So in order to make the video more beginner friendly, I pointed out to exactly which React router DOM to install. So use history. This is how we make the button clickable. Create a variable to store that function, and then just to make things more readable, I'm just gonna on click and then use history dot push. And so when you're actually invoking a function inside an alt-click, you have to, so it's not a good idea to do that. You have to make sure that it has to be inside a callback, otherwise it's gonna happen automatically later. It's gonna invoke the function automatically, so you have to have it inside a callback. I'm just gonna make sure, I'm just gonna format it so that it looks nicer. Refresh. Okay, so now it's taking me to this link. So let's just start with the landing page. So I'm just gonna end this video for now. See you in the next one. So yeah, I just took a break. I came back. So I'm just gonna start with the landing page now. So the landing page will look like this. So it's gonna have a map. So basically you can divide into, let's say, two boxes. One is this box and another is this box. So you're gonna have two components. One's this one and another is this one. So map is a little bit more complicated. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create this box, and just let you know that, just note that there's inside this big box there's just three other boxes, 1 2 3, and this is another box sitting at the center. So you're gonna have to do something about it. And then if you look carefully, like, there's three images. You can select this tool, and then I'm selecting this tool and I'm clicking on this little image, and that, and then from here I can see what kind of image is being used. And the same thing with the other two. You can just import these images in this way. So I'm just gonna start with the landing page. So first of all, you just have to start with the styling. Styling is basically 90% of this whole thing. Display flex direction, column, background color is white, height as usual should be 100% or 100 vertical height. So let me just take you back. So inside this, first of all, I'm just going to create this big box. This box would have nothing but just some padding on the side. So that's what I'm going to do. And then start creating those three div for the three boxes. Style, display, flex, it has to be justified. Okay, let's just start with display flex first. And then inside the div you have another div with image. So the image is just a self-enclosing tag,
and then you have this span that says right. Just gonna format it. Okay. So I'm just gonna take that image. Let's see how it goes. Okay. I don't see anything. What did I do wrong? Oh, okay, I forgot to save. Let's just debug this thing. Okay, so what's wrong? Display, flex, image, and then landing page, log in, should not push, and then app. Yeah, this landing page. Yeah, oh, okay, sorry. Why do I keep making the same mistake? Okay, so it's gonna be, let's just call it, let's just be like this. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first div, and there's gonna be 3 other images that I'm gonna do. Login, search, landing page. So there's gonna be the same images, and then so you can just copy paste this. So that should be good. So I don't see the last one. Oh, okay, so there it is. Okay. So it's taking a little bit of shape. So just start by mentioning the height of the, start styling it, and then mention the height. Height is, let's say, 60%. You can also experiment with other different numbers. Let's say 70% or 40%. Not making a difference. Okay. And then okay, so let's just start creating those little boxes like this one, this boxes, so it has like a special color in margin. So it has this margin, and it also has height, width, and then display. So the display is flex, and the flex direction is um, so it's saying column, because so right here it's saying flex direction is column, not row, because you have 2 elements inside this one. You have this image, and then you have this span tag. So it has to be like column wise, it can't be row. So if you're talking about the bigger box like this one, then it has to be flex direction row. Hope it makes sense, but I'm just gonna show you in a second what I mean. So I'm just gonna start styling the div first. So start with the background color, RGB 229, 231, and then 235. It has a small margin. The height is 8 rem. Just mention the height. You can also play with different heights if you want. And like I said, display should be using flexbox, and then flex direction is column. So let's see how it goes. So it has to be like in the center. So these things has to be in the center, otherwise it's not gonna look that good. And also, instead of square, there's sort of like a rounded corners, so we're gonna have to do something about that as well. So let's see, align items is center. Also, justify content is also center. So these things are gonna make sure that the images and the text is at the center. Align items is at the center, and the image is also at the center. These two styling elements are gonna make sure of it. And the border radius, I told you it's a little rounded, so I'm just gonna add a little border radius. Let's see how it goes. Okay, now it's taking shape. Okay. I feel like there's gonna needs to have some kind of like. Okay, let's just do the same thing with the other boxes. Let's see how it is. Okay, now it's shaped properly, so that's good. So now, and then you have like this thing where to. So I'm just gonna. So it's not an image. It's also another div. So first and foremost, mention the height. The background color is basically the same as the other ones. So I'm just gonna copy that one, and then sorry, just give me a second. I'm just gonna be right back.